Thank you very much for this wonderful family to come today. I'm sure like most of you probably like engaged a lot in the last few months with this program, but I think some of you also just met today. So I really hope that is going to be a chance for networking. So welcome for the closing event of the Evolver program. As you know, like the Good Business has two tracks, the Accelerator program and the Evolver program. I'm sure like I see some of the faces from both sides today, but I don't want to take a lot of time because today actually the show is like to hear from the wonderful entrepreneurs in the panel discussion. Takes 30-40 minutes, and then we're going to have a networking event. But just for some of you who are actually coming for the first time today, who didn't understand or who didn't know very well like the Good Business program, it's a GIZ funded, GIZ initiated program, which is designed by NOAA Foundation. They're based in Berlin. Unfortunately, they couldn't come and join us today. But I'm very happy that there are at least a few people from Berlin, like Beate, who are here. And iceaddis in Ethiopia was a local partner to run it. Like few weeks ago, we celebrated our 10 years anniversary. So this is actually part of the story that we're going to talk the next few years to come. And ASCP from I think especially for the ones an Accelerator program, you had like extremely intense program with them. They are well positioned themselves like to support entrepreneurs and continue to do so. So yeah, before I add so many stuff. I mean, if I start to thank people, like that would be a long list. But of course, Addis is the right person to start with. I should not be here. She should be here. So I would like to invite the honorable guests and panelists today. I will start with Marton. Please come to the stage. Big applause to Marton Kocsev from JZ. Suleiman, Felek, please take your seat, Marton. Yes, please. Thank you very much, Suleiman. This is from him, by the way. So, and Eskinder from Terra, please take your seat. And last, thank you very much. Last but not least, Amour, please come to the stage. We have one more person.
Lidya from Temsalet.
Oh, of course. All right, so in my list of people to be like very gratitude and thankful is the place. Actually, today we are in the Temsalet kitchen, and who's going to also join us in the panel discussion? Lidya, please come to the stage, and also like big applause for the Temsalet kitchen, who's hosting us today. Thank you very much. Just again, as a disclaimer, we're going to record this video. That's why actually so many lenses and cameras here. This is going to be broadcasted later on to the larger audience. That's also the logic why we're also having this discussion in English, because there are much bigger audience out there. So that you might be in the videos. So before we jump into the main topics today, I would like to give like each of you a very quick introduction, who you are and who you represent, and why you're here right now. I think when we talk, it's better to take the mask.
I'm guessing I start. Okay, welcome everyone. We're so glad to be able to host you. I've talked to half of the people in this room over Zoom, but it's so good to see everyone face to face. I'm Lidya. I'm with Temsalet. I'm the PR and communication here.
Thank you, Amour.
I'm happy to be here. My name is Zemen Amour Tefera. I'm a founder of Amour. I'm excited. I run a successful social enterprise. And thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Eskinder Fekade. I work at Terra PLC and we produce essential oils, organic and biodynamic essential oils. Thank you.
Salam everyone. My name is Suleiman. I'm the creative director at Felek Notebooks. Felek is a social enterprise that donates 8 exercise books for every notebooks that we sell. Because of COVID, we had to pivot our production, and currently we're in the business of face masks, which is the ones that you're wearing right now.
Hi, my name is Marton. I'm the GIZ. I have had not much part in this story, and that's definitely not in details. It's my colleague Katrin, who's sitting in the back, who has been working with Markos and his team to get this off the ground. And nevertheless, I'm very happy to be here and even positioned at the panel. I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Great, thank you very much. I will give you a chance at the end to ask questions. So until then, I'm going to be the only one who's asking. Suleiman, let me start from you. Maybe all of you might actually think about this question. What's a good business?
That's a very good. That's a very good question. That's tough. So traditionally, a good business is a business that focuses on profits, just focus on its, satisfying its shareholders. But I think for me, a good business is a business that has a clear purpose and satisfying their customers while tackling a key societal issue. I think for us with Felek, it was very important for us to produce our notebooks that allows us to share our ancient craft and history to the world. But at the same time, by donating 8 exercise books to rural schools, we're also contributing into the literacy rates in rural schools. So for us, well, I should say for me, a good business is a business that has purpose and that can actually tackle issues that concern the most vulnerable in the country or in the community.
Yeah. So it's really about community. It's about tackling real life problems. Amour, what do you think?
Yes, for me, it should be focusing on giving back and practicing ethical business strategy. When I say that, for instance, at Amour, we are focusing on it's a small company with big hope and big discipline. When I say that we are ethically producing, it starts with paying fair wage. It also we are only sourcing from tanneries who have water treatment plant. We are avoiding child labor and giving back to the community project. And one of our giving back to the community project is Amour Aquapack. Women and girls in Ethiopia are suffering when minimum they are traveling 30 minutes twice a day, holding 20 to 25 liter container, and the way they carry the water is very primitive. So I cannot give them tap water for everyone, but I create a pack to hold the container. So what we'll do, the pack is it disperses the weight and it helps them to carry the water more conveniently to ease their load. So the pack is also conveniently help them to hold grocery, exercise book, also their clothes. So the idea is to ease their load. So far we are distributing more than 10,000 for 10,000 women. It's not enough. So now we are focusing on reaching out more people to help to addressing more women, because million women out there are needing this. I know that it's difficult to hear in 21st century to hear such kind of story, but I love what I do. I own the patent actually in Ethiopia, and I really want to reach out more women. So in the next step, you hear a lot from us to reach out, and I welcome everyone to collaborate and to reach out to more people. And I appreciate also the good business help me to focusing on that, how I accelerate and reaching out more women. So
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's actually quite impressive. I mean, like, so when we talk about the good business, we're talking really about like the essence of the business, like the foundation of it. It's found like good business. But if we a little bit expand first, us like in the product and services and so on, I think for you like running a business like Temsalet Kitchen here. Like, do you actually like talk in the team, or like, you know, with your like with the founders team and your work in the communication about like what makes you different in terms of like a social and sustainable enterprises? What kind of discussions you usually have in that regard?
I think for us, initially, like how it was started and how it's going, it came from the community. And it's working through the community, and it's for the community. So that makes it really special, because we specifically work with women and marginalized women because of their lack of education or work experience. But they come here, they get trained, they start working, and now they have work experience. So we work with them, that's through the community, and when they leave this place, they're experienced, they can go get a job anywhere that's better, even better than this place. So that's one of the things we do. And the conversation that goes through Temsalet in the kitchen, or when we're working together, is it's more like organic teaching, because one person teaches the other person what they know. We even have like stories, people starting from as a cleaner and then going into being a chef and getting training here and then getting promotion here. And then outside of that, what we serve is organic food, because that's one of the things that we want to serve our community as well, a healthy lifestyle. And not only the food, we have this space for these kind of events. So not only we're feeding the body, but we're also feeding the mind, and we're talking about important things in the society, important things in the community, and there's this free space for them. And then our profit goes back to the community, because outside of sustaining this place, all the profit goes back to like feeding, because we have a kitchen, we can cook. And so one of the things that we do is that feeding, and also just working with the local government and seeing the need in this area and other areas in the city, whatever way that we need it, they know we're always open, so they come to us.
Yeah, exactly. I think I like when you say it's like it's not only feeding the body but also feeding the mind. I think that maybe will take us to Eskinder. I think you have actually like such a special product going from the mind to the body. So I mean, as most of you know, well-being is like one big category of like the Good Business Accelerator and Evolver program. And I remember like initially when we talk about like, you know, the categories of businesses that we need to support, it's really hard to define if you're a program designer, and especially when you don't even know what kind of companies will apply or will be part of this. Tell us more about Terra PLC, like, and actually how your business works in Ethiopia.
So Terra PLC was a company founded, we were established in 1992. A dozen family members, they decided to create a company with a vision to promote environmentally sustainable agricultural practices in Ethiopia. And we acquired land in Debre Birhan initially, and then we started producing organic vegetables and fruits for the local market. We used to sell to Bambis and other fruit shops and so on. And then afterwards we saw that it was very difficult to work in that market, but our main vision stayed with us. We wanted to promote environmentally sustainable agricultural practices. So we went into, we acquired 550 seedlings, Rosa Damascena seedlings, through GIZ assistance and through Vala Heilmittel, a company established in the 1940s, 1910s, which works with cosmetics and medicinal products. It's based in Germany, And so we started, we tried out the 550 seedlings in our farm. We saw that it was successful and the climate was appropriate for the Rosa Damascus plant. And this was in 2010, 2011. And then so we slowly started to propagate and to learn about the plant and the species. And it was a very steep learning curve, but because our vision was still with us, even if we did not have any profits, we continued working, we continued growing our staff, and we continued gaining knowledge and experience. I myself, for instance, worked there. I didn't work there, but I had experience since I was 5 years old. But we are sort of a small family member, 60 people. We know each other by name, and everyone works together. Everyone has the knowledge, the experience, and everyone has the opportunity to grow. And then, so with Vala, which also has this vision of promoting environmentally sustainable practices and promoting sustainable businesses in other countries, they source mainly all of our products, which is we produce rose oil from the Rosa Damascus plant. They helped us install a distillation vessel with a large steam generator with a capacity to expand itself into with a capacity to expand its production. We only use a small percentage of the potential production capacity now to produce the rose oil, but because there is still this vision, we continue working even if there is no profits at times, and we continue searching for financing to grow and to fulfill our purposes. But this is what we mostly do, and we are now looking at other essential oils. We have been testing and cultivating other medicinal and aromatic plants. Also, we produced a lot of essential oils from peppermint, chamomile, lavender, spearmints, and so on. And because of this vision, as Suleiman said, the business continues, even if there are hurdles around the way.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Eskinder. Marton, for you. So I think sometimes, it's kind of like a sexy word, so sustainable, like the good business impacts and so on. But actually, what does really mean? How do we really build like a sustainable business? Because GIZ globally supporting entrepreneurs, and you also know like the Ethiopian market very well, like since long time, even though you're absent the last few years. What's actually like the mentality, or what's kind of the assumption about like building a good business in your opinion?
First of all, you are most kind to me, Markos. I've been absent for more than 8 years, but I'm really happy to see all the change in Addis, and also really happy to be with you and listen to the stories. I think you dropped the keyword which kind of started or made us start to think about how to help good businesses, and that was sustainability, because there are so many words and terminologies out there, like sustainable business, social enterprise. There are the sustainable development goals, and so on and so on. And these are very technical terms, which are very hard to translate into business and translate it into people. So we have been thinking about, okay, how can we give it a new framework where people might feel more close to a business, or find kind of more a human connection to a business, or define themselves more through humanity than through statistics or numbers or sustainable development and so on. And that's where we came up with the idea of the good business. For us, a good business is any kind of business which helps people live a better life or live a good life, and it's a lot about choice. We believe a lot in helping people level up, reach and lift them out of poverty, lift them into middle class, or even higher. And that's, if we talk about middle class, it's very often a derogatory term, but I think what middle class people have is choice. They can decide what to eat, what to feed themselves, their bodies and their minds. And for me, a good business is which helps people give a choice to decide what to consume and how to consume it. That's it.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Marton. I think I really want to follow up on this one. So, sometimes when we talk about profit, I mean, you also mentioned Eskinder so many times. The mentality before was like profit actually means it's just like what you earn minus your expenses and then whatever money. I think that's a very narrow definition of like profit, because like profit should be expanding beyond like the financial gains. But at the same time, I think maybe for you, Eskinder, this question. So, because we really, you've been like in the business for a long time, in the family business, you know exactly how this is actually like works in this country as well. Is this something as like kind of a new trend to be a good business or to do something essential, or is it actually very good for business as well? Is it very profitable to be a good business?
I think it is, because, for instance, our purpose to stay environmentally sustainable connected us with Vala, which also has this purpose to promote this type of agricultural practices. So we are certified currently organic, biodynamic, and Fair for Life certified. So we have organic certification from EcoCert since 2013, and we are Demeter International certified, which is a biodynamic certification, since 2015 as well, January 2016, and we are also Fair for Life certified. So Fair for Life certification, you receive a Fair for Life premium fund, and this premium fund is directly translated to a fund which helps our employees. They create a committee, and this committee has a fund which enables them to give out loans for community members and to help each other out. So traditionally, like our traditional Equivalent, but this is more institutionalized, and this helps. And because also we produce high quality essential oils, this purpose to stay organic, it is translated into a high quality essential oil which is exported to Vala Heilmittel, which adds further value to the oil and creates other very valuable products, such as anti-aging products and sprays and cosmetics and so on. So this purpose has translated into profits, but always there's this difficulty to check balance, and because we every few months, because we increase our salaries, because we know that life is very difficult, because we increase our salaries for our labor force, we tend to have difficulties checking in the checking balance. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wish actually like this is organized in the middle of Mercato, right? Like the good business panel discussions. But Amour is like, so what are the challenges now? Actually, like we're in the same time, like it's good for business to be a good business, but it's we also know that like society or business environment like Ethiopia, which is actually like much harsh and much irregular than many markets we know. What are the challenges running a good business in Ethiopia?
Yeah, actually it's very challenging, because even though you are running a social enterprise, there is no system, whether the government doesn't deduct your profit, I'm manufacturing luxury handbags, then I give the profit for Amour Aqua Pack. Nobody cares, there is no system to support that. There is no also luxury to choose people, what it matters for them is how much it costs. A bag is just a bag. They don't care about the story. As you said, if you go to Mercato, you don't have time to listen to me even. The bag is having a story, you can listen to, they don't really care. But that's the challenge, It's a real challenge, I cannot say that it is easy. Yes, the impact is amazing. It's supposed to be circular, we have to control starting from manufacturing to the end user. We really love to control, but like especially like in my business on Amour, I start to care from As I told you, I source from tanneries who have only water treatment plant. When you go there, the price increased because they know what they deliver it to you. It starts from the raw material. But when you see leather, you have to be, conscious buyer. Where did she source from? Because the other tanneries, they sell the price with cheaper price. You see? So that's very challenging for me. And then once I try to paying fair wage, doing all the ethical process, and then when I deliver for customers, again I have to control, even though I don't have a power, I really want to sell for people who are really conscious buyers. Still that also, fashion nowadays is running so fast, so people want to buy something with cheaper price, and then they don't care about long-lasting quality. They want to throw it up, and then again they want to have another thing also. So that's also very challenging for me. But still, we're gonna stand still for our dream and hoping, Ethiopia will change, the world will change, and conscious buyers will grow, and we will keep fighting to do what we love to do, and then we will see the change.
I think that's very good. I mean, you're perfectly transitioned my question to Suleiman. Do we have conscious buyers in Ethiopia? But also, I mean, I think the environment is not always conducive for businesses. Even like we know that in Ethiopia, for instance, we talk about having a social enterprise registration, right? That doesn't exist right now. But in the same time, there's also like a little bit of like change. I see like you're selling in the National Palace in Ethiopia.
Yes. That's a very good question. I think I would say maybe because of the way I was raised, I think there's this Ethiopian culture to be conscious. It's like caring about your neighbors, caring about your family, just caring in general. I think in that sense, the idea of being aware of others is always like a priority. So although it's not like an official business, so I would say like although it's discouraging when you think about it as a business model, you say, I'm going to start creating this, and it's going to give this. It's not something new. It's been done for generations. Here in Ethiopia, it's been done generations. You go to the market, you buy stuff, if you have like dambenya and that person either gives you more or gives to others. So that culture exists anyways. It's just that it hasn't been formalized. But when we started our notebooks, selling our notebooks, it's like you said, it's a luxury notebook. It's very fancy, has nice leather covers and all that. And it costs more, it's more pricier than what you would find in the market. So when we started, people would be like, who would buy that? Like, no one would buy it. No one would buy it. That was the continuous like discouragement. But we found that the environment has changed. Yeah. So young people now who are just informed, who are more connected, who understand, they're like, I'm with this brand. Like I'm part of this. So there's that support. In addition, corporations and nonprofits, all these organizations feel like they know what's going on in the world. Like if you turn on the news, we're talking about environment. If you're talking about, you hear news of like, large factories like crashing, people dying, and people are generally good. Because of that, they want to make, if they're aware, they want to make the right decisions. And because of that, we've been lucky enough to, to sell and to do well. But we also tried the same model with our face masks. So we said, if you buy one, we're going to donate one to like the community, and we start pushing it, and people just refuse to buy it. It's like they're like, no, right now I want one for me, I want one for my family, I'm trying to save everyone. It could be like the whole COVID situation, but it didn't work. But these models don't necessarily translate into everything that we sell. Yeah. So I would say, the whole world is shifting towards that. Yeah. Purchasing decisions, conscious consumerism, it's moving, very well. And alhamdulillah, we're doing very well as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's like, I really like that. Things are happening. I think, Lidya, for you, like the question more is like, can we also like look more within? I mean, especially because you're very expert also like in comms and, like in marketing. Are we positioning ourselves better in this market to create that mind shift, or what we should do, like as founders and entrepreneurs, and like a lot of people who want to listen to us now, starting their next good business. How should we position ourselves?
Yeah, I think it's really important to really be open about what we do, because like even here, people love our food. People come and eat anyway. They don't care if we feed people on the street or not. They love the food and they come and eat. But during COVID, we were doing 100 people a day for 6 months every day. And then we were literally cooking the same kind of food that we cook for our customers. And so when people started hearing this and they want to come more, and they tell us, okay, so we're happy, we're going to order more, because they know the more they order that we make more money, and that means that we feed another person. So when we put ourselves in that, bridging the gap and telling people that, okay, we're not only doing this on our own. Actually, what you're eating, just by eating, that you're supporting other people, you're feeding other people. So putting ourselves out there and just showing what we do openly really helps for people to relate. Like I said earlier, it's from the community, through the community, and to the community. So we're not we're not outsiders coming and trying to help our community. We are part of the community, and then our customers are part of the community, and the people that we support are part of the community. So we're creating our own little Temsalet community here in this area. So, and we're so open to our customers, to local government, to the Kabale, to the Warada. They know us because we knock the doors and we tell them, okay, we're doing this, come see our kitchen. It's an open kitchen. Even some people are so happy about open kitchen because, oh, you're not hiding anything, yeah? We don't have anything to hide. And so going out there, and then we also look for people that need the right kind of support, and that's the kind of people that we support. So I think it's really important to put ourselves out there, not only towards not only towards donors, not only towards who can benefit us, but also people that can be benefited from us.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions already to them, prepare your questions. But I think one big concept that actually I want to talk across this wonderful panel, Marton, as you can see, is a lot of entrepreneurs here is quite pushing towards that big vision, solving the problem, bringing that openness and really to that age. Can we say that this is really part of the new leadership? Do we need even a new kind of leadership in business to steer this, or is this just again another fancy concept?
It's taking us very far, I think. Or we can sit here the whole evening. Again, there is a lot of noise out there, right? You are all familiar with mindfulness in leadership, agility, Scrum, Lean, Kanban, and all these modern ways of leading. What I find very interesting when I was listening to your stories, a different story came to my mind, and that actually connects to leadership, because you have been mentioning conscious consumers, and sometimes they sign up for the extra, sometimes they don't sign up for the extra, but I'm very much interested in the rise of these new conscious consumers, because they are an opportunity for leaders like yourself, who are, I think, the modern Robin Hoods, because conscious consumerism is a lifestyle choice. You are doing already quite well if you have the choice and you have the money to pay for that choice. And you're basically very wisely are the new Robin Hoods taking from these people and giving it back to the community, to those who can't afford it, who can't make choices, lifestyle choices like this. So I would be very interested to explore this idea of Robin Hoodism, maybe, as a new entrepreneurial model as well. And I think what you mentioned, also being connected to a community, is what gives the necessary authenticity of the business, which is basically the currency for the conscious consumers. If you're not authentic, then you don't count. You are just a capitalist producing something. So I don't think I can really answer your question in one sentence, but I think we will see a lot of movement and also a lot of new theories probably coming up in the next few years around these type of business models and really kind of plugging in the community, serving them, and also kind of making the best out of a rising global middle class.
Yeah, I think it's usually like the founder's vision drives like how good the business is in most cases. Maybe Amour, for you. So there will be a lot of young people out there, who wants to be the next Amour. So what's your recommendation about the upcoming leaders, business leaders we have?
Okay. For that, I cannot sit and tell that for all of them. So you sit a lot, so I want you, please, to stand. Thank you. Don't worry, I will not make you pray. Okay? Because of COVID, I don't want you to touch hands, so I want you, Oh. Okay. Yeah. So I want you to give your elbow for a person next to you. So here you go. So entrepreneurship is all about, thank you for doing that. You see? So entrepreneurship is all about connecting those dots, connecting all those hands. So if you want to be successful, reach out. I cannot, you have to reach out. Thank you so much. Have a seat, please. You have to be persistent, I cannot promise you that tomorrow is like overnight you're going to be rich or overnight you get your success. The road is really bumpy, but stand still for what you believe. If you do that, if you reach out, if you work hard together, don't work alone. There is so much to give. Collaborate with others. Try to work. Even though you are working in same industry, it doesn't have to be, don't try to be the only one person. There is a big market out there. There is a big, beautiful thing out there for you. So try to collaborate with your partners. Try to collaborate with different categories. Even though you are working in the same, like I'm working in leather bags. So come, join me. Let's work together. We can create something unique for the world. Out there, it's big. So try to see the big picture. And if you are persistent, trust me, success will follow you. So that's my advice for you.
Great, thank you very much. I don't need to add anything on that. But Lidya, so thank you very much, Amour. I mean, that was very inspirational. I think it's like, if we just only address, the next generation of entrepreneurs and then the new leaders, it's not going to be complete. So we also have like the other, the harder to crack part of like the ecosystem, like the investors, people who are going to invest money, like the funders and so on. What kind of actually like, kind of mentality that we need to have like to bring this forward? What's your message, for instance, for those kind of people?
I think for us, it was more like it was initiated by a challenge. Because we thought about a restaurant, we thought about having a space, we had the space, and it was going good. But then challenge started arising because we had the signature sauce that we wanted to share with the rest of the world, and we wanted to export. We don't know anything about export. So looking for people, it's like, okay, where can we get this help? We need to study about export. We need to study about eco-friendly packaging. We have no idea, so we have to study. We have to do our research. We have to find people to collaborate with, and that's when the investors, people with the same kind of idea, looking for other people, and that's how we were able to connect the dots, and also getting the ingredients. For example, we can't find organic ingredients everywhere. So we're like, okay, this means we have to start a farm. And so we're moving towards that, and then we don't know about farming. So we're looking for people who know about farming, and then investment in farming. So I think it's just turning our challenge into a space to grow, and learning about that new idea, and then trying to find other collaboration is what's directing us through to this finding like investors and finding partners.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you guys. Like I have like maybe like final messages to you guys. So I think, I mean, you've been in the business, especially Eskinder, like you've seen different aspects of the business in this country, and like Amour says, like, you know, unless we really connect, unless we really like be persistent, it's quite difficult. But do you see any change now? Are you really hopeful about the next 5-10 years in Ethiopia, the business environment, or you see more a challenge?
I don't know. I think maybe next week we'll see. But it's quite difficult. Even it's very difficult for us every day. Too many challenges to list now, but there is hope because a lot of people want to work, as you said, through the supply chain. It's quite interesting. For instance, I went to Jijiga a few weeks ago, to Somali, to source frankincense and myrrh, just to see if there are some, through a GIZ project, if there are some possibilities to work on that end as well, because we are a processor and we want to source raw materials, because we cannot have frankincense and myrrh as well. We also did a few, and there is a lot of potential there, because a lot of people want to sell their products. The collectors want to form an association between them, and also the local traders, they want to work with legally work with Ethiopia, because there's a lot of contraband there. And around our neighboring farm, our farm, there are neighboring farmers which have been in close contact with us, because we are in the community there as well. And for instance, we provide them with mating, because our bulls, they are good bulls, and we provide mating opportunities with their cattle, and this is good offspring for them, because we have different genes. But we did a baseline survey for an outgrower scheme, and we saw that there is a potential there, because we don't have the land to produce and to expand. We saw that there's a potential to work with outgrowers. We did a baseline survey with 100 outgrowers, and potentially all of the neighboring farmers, they were willing to work, and they were asking us good questions. The really critical questions came from them. So if there is somehow an integrated supply chain in Ethiopia with processors which are helped by financial institutions, grants and so on, and also loans, and if there are also farmers which are willing to work with this, and even in the market, if there is a good supply chain, it's possible to do a lot of things, but we'll see, I think.
Yeah, let's see about the future. Suleiman, you also have the similar, especially I think for you, because I was thinking, you know, sometimes even like managing our team, really try to understand, like, you know, the same vision, the same value, even sometimes difficult. Do you see even the change in that aspect, like how, you know, people working for you, and also your future employees as well, like it's going in the right direction, or?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think it's just, as I've noticed that, you know, in our business, what determines like the future is how you improve your own learning about your commitment to environment, your commitment to your team, your commitment to representing Ethiopia to the larger, you know, world. So I think for me personally, I'm kind of bringing that into myself, like, what can I do better? You know what I mean? But one of the things that we focus on is transparency. So not just with our clients and on how we produce, but with our own staff. For instance, every year, you know, we produce all our exercise books that we donate. The whole entire team actually travels to the rural schools where we produce, where we donate our notebooks. And the staff themselves actually give out these exercise books, because they are actually the ones that are producing it. Like, you know, I'm just there. So eventually it's about letting go of control and allowing your team to take over, to understand that they have a purpose. in that sense, it's actually good business because the more you let go, the more you empower your own team. That they produce better, they focus on quality. You also share that information with your customers as well, so your customers feel like like we're with this brand. So I think globally and even here in Ethiopia, people understand what good business is. We may not put a label on it, but in your instinct, like you feel like this is a good business. And so in that sense, they're like, we don't need to look for a trend. Like we can actually produce the trend itself by changing the way we produce. And so I'm hopeful in that sense.
Wonderful. I think it's time for you good consumers to ask questions, and of course entrepreneurs. So I'm going to give like a couple of people a chance to ask questions, and of course I also, if you want to give comments and answer some of the questions, feel free to do so, but I will try to time as much as possible.
Can I just give you an advice? Forget the word dream and really substitute it by goal. Everybody's dreaming of something, but not everybody who's dreaming has a goal. And set your goal very high and always think from the bottom, from the upper down to, from the top down to the bottom. And reach out very high. I can only tell you, you have fantastic environment here, and all your ideas are unique, so aim high. And don't dream, set goals.
Great, thanks. Anyone up there has questions for the panels? All right, if no one asks, okay.
So my question is for maybe Eskinder. Can you say more about doing a business with family? Because from other perspective, I understand the challenge of doing a business with partners and outsiders. But I feel like we can also learn a few things from working with family. And how is that going? And what are the things that you're learning point that you can share for others?
Thank you very much.
Thank you for it's a good question. It's very difficult. Even living with family is difficult, as some of you know. You have to be blessed at times, even with extended family, and because everyone, even with friends, it's difficult to live with friends, to communicate. So it's a big skill that you learn by just working with family and work, because you have to embrace everyone's defaults and everyone's skills, and it's very, very difficult. But if because you work for a purpose, somehow you get through. And you also, when you start from the bottom, you have to take orders like a soldier, for instance. It's very important, very important. And you even if you question, you have to question in a diplomatic way. So communication skills are very important. It's just like working in a large company. I used to work for, I studied architecture. I used to work for an architecture firm. But you work for that company, you communicate professionally. So with your family, all the time you communicate professionally. It's a 24/7 work day every time. Which is good, because you keep pushing and you keep pushing your limits.
Great, thank you very much. One more question, guys. Don't be shy. As a wise, sorry? Comment. Oh yeah, please. Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, good evening. This is Ernest from Actual Urban Living. So most of the things about good business and running a business, you mentioned it already, and of course the challenge. I'm just here to share some of our strategies to deal with some of the problems that you mentioned already. I think Suleiman mentioned most of the solutions. I just want to top up two. One is most of the social enterprise. I've been with 3 or 4 social enterprises. I've been working with them now. Actually, is one of the last one. So what I notice is most of the time in the traditional way of doing business, when you hire somebody, the entrepreneurs I can definitely say that, make the mistake of hiring a professional, which means when you want someone on the marketing or someone on the finance or someone on the HR, you hire someone who is labeled or trained to be an HR or trained to be a financer or trained to be a marketing personnel. So the biggest mistake, and of which I lastly learned from my company in Actuel, is that giving an opportunity for those people who have the hobby and who have the desire to work with you, that transfers and transforms your company for good. For example, when you take Actuel, we've been in the business for the past 4 years, and like your business, we are on the luxury end. We are not the luxury, but people think that we are the luxury end because we produce furnitures. And it's hard to explain the green or the sustainable point of it. But we succeed. Now we quadruple our profit each year. If you ask me how, because we have a dedicated personnel which are dedicated to their job and who represent their business. Like now, we represent our business everywhere we go because we know our business. Anyone from our company, if you ask them about our business, they will tell you from start to bottom. So one comment is that you can hire like the professionals on the specific, for example, for tax, you might need the specific personnel for taxation. But 2 things, marketing and PR, those people should know and should understand and should have the desire and the hobby. They should not be entitled. For example, if I may, I am a doctor of veterinary medicine. I have a background on agriculture and everything. But starting from birth to death, I'm sure that I'm a designer and a developer and an architect and a painter. I did all of that. But for the first time in my life, I got the opportunity to present and to do all the things that I mentioned that I needed to do. I was born to do that, and I got the platform. So those people are not hard to find. You can find them anywhere. You can find them through friends, through a job, and most of the time on the interview, you can even dig that, the deep inside of those people. And this is the first one, hiring people with the hobbies and the desire. The second one is, for example, you said your products are very beautiful and they are on the luxury end. Let's say that, the luxury end. So what I believe is I share Suleiman's dream of the new generation or the coming generation or the new Ethiopia. Let's say the new Ethiopia, because if the generation is more than 70% of your population, you are dealing with the new generation. It's not about money anymore. It's about values. Because what I see from people is whenever they come to buy your product, they don't care about the price anymore. That doesn't mean that they don't care about the numbers. But first they will ask you, what kind of materials do you use? Your design is beautiful. Your material is beautiful. How do you make it? Before, if people start asking questions like, this is beautiful, and then it is left to you to explain and to buy those customers. So that's where the person who's going to represent your company should have also the same dream, the same hobby, and the same understanding about your product. So what I believe is now the social enterprise Ethiopia is becoming big. Yeah, it's about time. And then even not only the social enterprise, we are also aiming for the social procurement. It is a new concept. But I think Ethiopia has been through, like Suleiman said, we've been through the social enterprise throughout our lifetime. So now is the best time, even though there are challenges, and for those of you, I don't know whether there is a new entrepreneur or not, but now is the time, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think we also have like a lot of time to, thank you very much. All right, great. Thank you very much. Please, guys, give us like a big applause to our wonderful panelists. Thank you, everyone. Stay good.
Markos, before we close.
Yeah. Okay, Lidya.
I think, Gandhi, can I ask you to come here? We would like to, we're very grateful to you, Addis, and Catherine. I would love to invite Gandhi here, who's our superhero in the Evolver. She will hand you guys gifts on behalf of the Evolver participants. Markos, thank you so much. Sorry, I put you on the spot. Gandhi, I think we all know about Addis. She stayed connected with us. Sometimes we were lagging when we were sending stuff, or we were not pushing enough. But she kept us in line, made sure that we had all the resources we need to push. ስለዚህ ቅድስት እናመሰግናለን። ጋሽ ማርቆስ ካትሪን አለች። Markos, thank you for creating the opportunity, first of all, giving us the chance to, to participate and creating the environment for us to thrive and to push forward. And you've been doing that for 10 years. Thank you and congratulations to you. I think Catherine is not here, right? Yes.
Marton, can you refer them, sir?
Yes. Not anymore.
Otherwise, we're going to give it a word.
Yes, so Catherine has also played a huge role in bringing this together and also creating other opportunities for us. And so, Addis, if you can send someone to take this gift on her behalf. I think, in general, I just want to say thank you to everyone who are part of the Evolvers, because we grew together. Especially Gandhi, you've been my inspiration from the beginning. Actual, you guys have been amazing as well. Thank you, all of you. Appreciate it.